Well, hello there, this is D, and welcome to the RX Road Trip on the Benzo Free Podcast. This is day one. Very late in day one. It's like 11:30 here. I am in the middle of Kansas, well, mostly through Kansas. I am in Salina, Kansas for the night in a hotel. I was trying to record along the way in the car, but I recorded twice, and unfortunately, both recordings, the noise level was more than I wanted to deal with, so I thought maybe let me just record something when I get to the hotel room and I can deal with, I can have a little better acoustics in a hotel room, so that's where I'm at. Let me cover just a few things real quick. I am on my way to Atlanta for the RX Summit, where I'll be presenting, I'll cover that. I will be presenting, along with Dr. Christy Huff of Benzodiazepine Information Coalition, a presentation on benzodiazepines at this summit. We're really excited about the opportunity to speak and present our information there, and so I thought I'd bring you all along on the trip. Hopefully it's going to be interesting. I know I actually like when people do road trips, and I've listened to some podcasts and watched some YouTube videos of people on the road and traveling, and I kind of feel a little bit like I'm on the trip with them, and I think that's kind of fun. So I thought maybe I'd do the same. And my goal is to release these periodically throughout the trip. Try to record something every day. This is day one, and just share with you my experiences with my benzo recovery still, and some of the symptoms I still have, and experiences with anxiety along the way, and anything else that's going on. So that's the primary goal here. So I hope you'll tune in. I hope you'll enjoy it. Also, I'm going to keep recording. Hopefully, when I get to the summit, I realize I don't really have a press credentials or anything, so I probably can't record at the summit. I know I can't record any of the seminars, but I can record around that and record my experiences and information and stuff like that. So maybe we might even get a guest or two to come and have a conversation with us on the podcast. That'd be really cool. So I will see what I can do. And then my wife is flying out and joining me in Atlanta, and then we are going on a vacation for about 10 days, just driving around, going up the Blue Ridge Parkway, heading up to Pennsylvania and Ohio to see some family, and then driving on back to Colorado. I am driving this. For those of you who've listened to the podcast, you realize that I'm a road trip kind of guy. I like being on the road. I actually prefer it over flying, and it's what I like to do. So for some of you, I realize this may be the last thing you'd want to do, but for me, it's a peaceful, even meditative endeavor sometimes. Just driving from Denver to here, Salina, Kansas today, about 6 hours or so in the car, was really nice and peaceful. It flew by. I listened to a little book on tape for a while. Listened to some sports podcasts about NFL drafts, since I'm kind of an NFL junkie sometimes, and just had some me time, and that's nice sometimes. That's really nice sometimes to have, and I like being on the road. Also, don't forget, we now have a Twitter feed, and we now have a Facebook page. So visit us at Twitter. We're at EasingANX on Twitter, and for Facebook, we're at EasingANXFB. FB is in Facebook, because I couldn't get the other name. Long story, not going to go there right now, but just wanted to share that with you. But please check us out there, and of course, our channel on YouTube is also at EasingANX. So check us out on our social media. I'd love to have you there, but our primary home is the website, easinganxiety.com. So please go there. That's where you can create your own login, and there'll be a lot of information coming for that once I get back. I'm really looking forward to building up that back-end site, that member site, not just members, but just login site. You know what I mean. And I've talked about it before, and we'll get there. We'll get to there. There's been a lot of stuff going on lately, and I kind of wanted to talk about different things along the way. But I think one of the reasons I do this is that connection. And we talk about it, it's human to human connection. I know I'm a huge face-to-face person. I'm a huge in-person kind of thing. And that to me is number one. If you can do that, if you can get face-to-face And I know for some of us, especially with benzo withdrawal and stuff, that's actually very frightening, and I understand that too. And for some people, that's difficult to do. For me, I'm the opposite. I crave that kind of intimacy, that kind of connection, that kind of you know, just I think we miss that, and I think we miss that in the digital age, and that's one of the reasons why I do these, and especially with computers and the internet and social media, now AI, artificial intelligence, and all this stuff. It's like we don't even know sometimes online if we're talking to a real human person anymore, and I don't think that's a good thing. I think that's a trend that I wish we could reverse, but I don't know that we can. I think there's a lot of great things that have come from computers and the internet, but I also think that there's been a lot of bad too, and I think that that might grow here with things that are coming down the pike. So, but one of the reasons I like to do these is um, it's kind of a low tech. I know it's not the face-to-face connection, but it's the next best thing, which is an audio connection in my mind. I know I could do the video too, and but in the podcast, I don't know. I think I made the conscious decision to do mostly audio because I felt a little bit like audio was more of a connection. And I think I mentioned that a while back on the podcast. It's more of a one-on-one connection. I think a lot of us, and I don't know about you, but when I listen to podcasts, listen to people, I do have the headphones on, or I'm out walking, or I'm just laying in bed listening to something, and I'm using this word, but I think it's more intimate, and I don't mean that in any kind of um, um, you know what I mean, any kind of sensual way at all. I mean intimate as in just a one-on-one connection between two human beings, and I like that. I think that's something that I've always been attracted to, is that type of connection. And I think audio, for some reason, it's what we listen to when we're in the dark room and have can't sleep, and insomnia is kicking in, and our minds are looping and ruminating, and so we flick on a podcast, or we flick on a book on tape, or we flick on something just to take our minds away, but also to help us relax and calm. And sometimes all you need is a friendly voice, and I really hope that maybe that's something I might be providing via this podcast, as a friendly voice, because, well, some of you know me pretty well, and we've been corresponding over email for years, and some of you, I really understand what you're going through, and we've talked back and forth. Some of you are new to the podcast and don't even know who I am. And I understand trust is difficult, especially in this day and age, but I can tell you, I'm not a person with any ill will or any. I mean, sure, we all have people we dislike at times, and I'm not saying I'm not human, but I'm saying in general, I like people. In general, I'm honest. In general, I think I'm a decent person, and I like just about everybody I meet. And I think that's missing sometimes today. I think we have a tendency to judge each other a little too much and a little too harshly, instead of having a little bit of grace for one another. And maybe that's a good message for today, is this kind of a little more low-tech method here of just chatting and having you on with with the audio only, and maybe your imagination can run about what hey, I'm driving through grass fields in Kansas, what do those look like? And I'm at a big conference in a huge hotel in downtown Atlanta, and what does that look like? And sometimes our imaginations are more fun than seeing the actual videos. And I hope you'll join me on this trip. I hope you'll find something beneficial with what I provide here. We'll talk about my experience with benzos and anxiety along the way, and how we work through it, about anything else I'm dealing with, and I think it's just going to be a good trip, and I think it's off to a good start, and I'm really excited to have you all along with me. So let me know what you think. Feel free to comment on our website, on our posts. That's a really good place to do it. You can also comment on our YouTube videos when I get those up, wherever you like to, but I always like to hear back from you, and I appreciate it. So please stay tuned. If you sign up to our mailing list, you'll be able to get the alerts when the next ones come out. And I also try to post those on Twitter and Facebook when each day when the new ones come out, or every other day. So, and that's about it. Hey, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you on the road for the rest of the trip. Take care. Or should I close it out? I should close it out. Oh, one more thing. I do need to put this in here. This is for the whole series in case I forget to do it for other ones. But I'll try to put it in each one. But just please remember that this episode, this podcast is for informational purposes only and should never be considered medical advice. There, I got it out. I wanted to make sure I put that in there. Please visit our website at easinganxiety.com/disclaimer for more information on our disclaimer. But just so as you know, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just a guy who went through benzo withdrawal, still has some lingering symptoms, and spends most of his time working with other people who are struggling with the same. And that's what I do. So if you're new to our podcast and you're just checking us out, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, and hopefully I'll see you on the road. Talk to you soon.